welcome back to yet another Buffalo Bills pregame show. Man, does it feel good to be back in this chair here in our brand new socially distant studios. Jared, how's it feel being back after a long delay in Bills action?
Unbelievable. That's how it feels because we haven't had a preseason. We haven't had really any practice to look at. We can't even say what position Josh Allen is going to be, or else we might be suspended from YouTube. So he's on the team. That's all we can tell you. The point is, it just feels unbelievable. There's just going to be a game like in a few days. That's where I'm at right now.
Hard to believe, and without the build-up, like we've never gone into a season so blind. Does that add to the level of excitement, or does it take, like, without the build-up, like, how does it make you feel compared to other seasons?
No, it actually adds to it because in other years, you almost sometimes after you look at all this preseason and all this practice, there's not too many question marks. You know what I mean? Like you kind of feel like you know everything. But this year, it's like I have actual questions about what this team's going to be because we just haven't seen it. So you can't even guesstimate based on the little bit that we haven't seen.
Well, I think the most exciting developments in the Bills on the offensive side of the ball this season, with notably the addition of Stefon Diggs. The biggest question mark for the offense would seem to be the right side of the offensive line. In your perfect universe, who would you like to see to start off the season?
In the perfect universe, I'd like to see Ford as right guard and then Nsekhe as the right tackle. However, what I think they're going to do is they signed Brian Winters from the Jets, so I think they're going to put him at right guard and they're going to try to put Ford out at tackle. Now, could that work? Maybe. And it's nice to have Ty Nsekhe as a backup option. Sean McDermott's gone on record saying he doesn't want to do the rotational thing he did last year where they were constantly rotating Ford and Nsekhe. And then oftentimes what happened was one of them got hurt in the middle of the game, and then you had to stop the rotating. So I hope they just put Ford and Nsekhe in, and then if one of them gets hurt, they just slide Ford over if need be and bring in Winters. I think that's your strongest line, having those five in from last year.
We are in a very unusual position as a Bills team with having considerable depth at wide receiver. We are a team that has in the past not afraid to use the fullback position, which has kind of been outmoded anyway. But now DeMarco being out, do you see this leading to more increased wide receiver sets on the offensive side?
Oh, yeah. I don't think they want to be in a position where they have to choose between Diggs, Beasley, or Brown. They want to use all three. So with the lack of a fullback, you're just able to use all three wide receivers.
On the defensive side of the ball, can the Bills maintain the same dominance at defense they've had under Sean McDermott?
That's a good question, and the answer to that is I honestly don't know. When Star Lotulelei decided to call it a year this year, I was like, oh no, we lost Star Lotulelei, oh no. But then after I started thinking about it, I'm like, well, okay, who is that other tackle? Obviously, Ed Oliver's going to step it up and play this year. But the other one, who knows? I mean, everyone seems to be high on Harrison Phillps. I'm just not. I'm not as high on him as other people are. So I think the D line's not going to be as good as last year. Mario Addison, I think, brings in a good supporting thing. Jerry Hughes is still going to be good, and we'll see what A.J. Epenesa does.
Notable change in the special teams. Hauschka off the team. Tyler Bash, who was drafted this season, is now our kicker. How do you feel about having a rookie kicker, even if he can kick a 60-yard field goal with one step?
See, that's where it would have been really good if we were able to see these practices, because maybe it would be so painfully obvious that Hauschka has just lost it and Bass is hitting everything. But we couldn't see anything. So I don't like it right now based on what I already know, which is that Hauschka is the more accurate kicker than Bass. If you look at Bass's college record, he only was hitting 70%. So it seems like this coaching staff is treating Bass's leg like we treated Josh Allen's arm. They're just like, oh, like we can coach him up. He'll be fine. But we'll see if that works. I don't know if it will.
Yeah, as tight games come on the line with the division in play this season, it would be a real bummer to lose out over and over on the leg of a rookie kicker,
right,
for sure.
And Hauschka got signed by the Titans, so it's not like he's on the streets or anything. Like, he found a job immediately after he left Buffalo, and he went to a team in the Titans that had a horrible kicking game last year, and then made it to the AFC Championship. So
Well, I wish him luck. I always liked him on the team. But we kind of glazed over this, but I think we need to address the fact that this is our first season as a pregame show, I mean, in almost a generation, where we're going into the season without Tom Brady being the quarterback of the New England Patriots. It's like the fog of war has cleared and there's a clear path to a division title in the AFC East. Did you ever think this would does it feel real? Can it be true? Like, will it take seeing Tom Brady playing in the Bucs uniform to make all the difference? Like, what are the emotions right now?
I mean, I think it's going to happen. I think Tom Brady's on the Buccaneers. No, in all seriousness, with Brady, I still need to see it. You know, I mean, I still need to. The Brady game's going to air right after the first Bills game, so I'm going to be watching that game. Like, I want to see it happen for real, because it's almost like you can't believe it till you see it. You know. But
watch them cut away from the Bills game.
Oh no, it's at different times. So the only thing they might do is they might be like, "Ooh, here's Cam Newton starting for the Patriots," which I believe is at the same time as the Bills game. They might do some cutaways for that, if anything. But I don't know. Belichick's making Subway commercials, so I don't think we have to worry about the Patriots this year. No, I mean, honestly, and this might sound so shocking to everybody, but I mean, I almost wish Tom Brady luck. Not that much luck. But
not Super Bowl luck.
But he didn't have to leave. He could have kept staying with the Patriots and being the most dominant team in the entire NFL. But he decided, no, I want more money, and I want to see if I can do this somewhere else. He could have played it safe and stayed exactly where he was and tormented the Bills for a few more years. But now it's a whole new world, just like the Aladdin song. And who knows what magic carpet rides we will be riding into this season. I think the Bills could still be bad this year and get into the playoffs because of the division. I think that's where we're at. And when's the last time we were able to say that?
Bledsoe.
I wouldn't even say that.
Billy Joe Hobart, then, of course. So, let's talk about it. The season.
Yes.
Do you have a division title in our future? What is your prediction for the season?
I think you should go first.
All right. Well, I am excited to say that I do think we can win a division. I got us 10-5-1 this season and a division title.
Nice.
Probably not a bye, though.
Okay, that's fine. I will...
Hashtag goals, but not this year.
The first hashtag on Bill's Pregame. I have bad news and then good news, so just hear me out. The bad news is my prediction is actually 7-9, which I realize seems...
No. And the division?
Possibly the division. That's why, that's I guess, the
caveat?
Part of the good news is that I think we could, because, playoffs, not so much division, but playoffs for two reasons. A, we could still win the division. All the teams could be bad. It might be one of those crazy years where a losing record team wins. And the other part of it is, remember, there are 7 teams in the playoffs for each conference now, not 6. So now 7-9, 8-8 are teams that are able to get in. So something to consider there as well. But the good news is, the actual good news I was referring to is when we have been here for you doing week 1 versus the Jets, each time in the last 3 years, we have gone to the playoffs. And each time myself has been kind of a downer coming into those games, and then all of a sudden it turns into playoff seasons. So if history is any indication, if we win this Jets game, I think we're going to the playoffs again, despite my 7-9 record.
So you're saying ahead of time that you may not be a good analyst in this regard.
We'll see.
So yeah, now that you brought up the Jets specifically, are you willing to make your prediction about the game first?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we went a little out of order, but that's fine. We're outdoors doing a show, and there's a unhinged door as our thing, and there's dogs and birds everywhere. And I'm wearing a poncho because it might rain.
It is a whole new world.
So I say that the Bills are going to win the game, and they're going to win 21-17.
All right, I have a Bills victory as well. So you're leading us right into the playoffs, just like you said. I have the Bills winning 26-10. Go
Okay,
Bills.
so before we wrap up, let me just try to clarify a little bit why I think there might be some losing games here. We're playing a lot of hard teams this year. We're also on the road a lot against the AFC West and the NFC West. We're playing the 49ers, the Seahawks, the Chiefs, the Titans, the Steelers. We're playing some really good teams. And not to mention, I'm looking at it from a very conservative point of view in that I think that we will split the division with every team. You can never count your divisional rivals out, even if they seem so much worse than you. You can never say that, oh, we'll beat the Jets easily, oh, we'll beat the Dolphins easily. You never know with those divisional matchups. And I think on our final note, Randy, Tre'Davious White last year saved us from losing one of those Miami games by getting an interception against Fitzpatrick late in one of those games. And the Bills have awarded him in the last few days with quite a large contract, keeping him on the team until 2025.
Thank you, Fitz.
Yeah. Thanks, Fitz.
Real quick, before we wrap up
Okay.
on my end, I like your poncho in case of rain, but in 4 weeks, are we looking at snow yet?
I doubt it, but we'll see. If we do, I'll have my ski stuff on.
All right, we'll be back in 4 weeks, if not sooner, for the Las Vegas game, the Las Vegas Raiders, the first time we've ever faced that particular team.
Yeah.
And we'll look forward to it. In the meantime, go Bills. So happy to be back. Oh, can I do it? So far, wind. The wind took it. You see that? Right
No,
there.
there was
it was
no-
dead on.
There was no wind.
There was
There was no
there
wind.
was wind. Check the tape.